What's up, everybody, and welcome back. I hope you guys are all having an amazing day. And to all of my fathers out there, all of my amazing dads, daddies, fathers, I hope you're having a wonderful Father's Day. If you're watching, I hope your day is filled with nothing but just fun and fabulousness, and you get to spend time with your kiddos. And yeah, I hope you have an amazing, amazing day today. Or if you want, like moms do, you can take a break on Father's Day. Who knows? It's whatever you want. It's your day. All right, you guys. So for today's video, I want to basically, I have like a bunch of products that I want to test out and try, and play around with. But while I'm doing that, I want to talk to you guys about something because it's been bothering me. And quite frankly, I can't let it go anymore. I can't stand idly by and be quiet anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I need to say this. So we're going to be talking a little bit about the Ann and Abby situation. I don't know if you're an Abby fan or if you're an Ann fan. If you don't even know what I'm talking about, it's totally fine. It's fine because this, I feel like, is going to be good, important information that everybody could use, whether you know about the situation or not. Because I don't really care about the drama portion of it, you know what I mean? So we're not even really going to address that. So anyways, I guess let's just get into it. All right, so let's talk about the Ann and Abby situation. And you might be looking at me like, Alex, why are you just now addressing this? This happened a while ago. You're right, it did. And I have truthfully tried very hard not to address it. Now, I did make a comment on one video, which I have since removed, and it's actually going to be the video that I am referring to and going to be talking about here in just a second. But I removed the comment only because I stand by everything I said in that comment, by the way. But I removed it mainly because that person should remove that video, like they should. And I can't ask them or expect them to remove their video if my comment's still up. So that's why I removed the comment, for anyone that was curious. Now, if you're not familiar with the situation, Ann and Abby were two friends of mine. They were friends of mine a long time ago, and we had a falling out, and it kind of happened publicly, and it sucked. It really, really sucked. Okay. So I am very empathetic towards their situation right now because I've been through it. Now, Abby and Ann stayed friends since then, and they recently had a falling out that also went public. Now, I know that was one person's choice and maybe not the other one's, although they both addressed it publicly. They both made videos. So, you can't right a wrong with another wrong. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to be like, he did this and she did that. I don't care. It's irrelevant at this point. Okay. So they both made videos. Fine. They've both since removed their videos, and they have both since been trying to work on themselves privately because they are both aware, which I've spoken to both of them. They both know that I'm making this video. I told them a long time ago that I was. So just in case anybody was curious, I have been talking to both of them, not like daily or anything, but just checking up on them, making sure that they're okay, and also that they're working on themselves, because that's really what they need to take this time to do. Now, regardless of, again, whose side you're on, it really doesn't matter. We want nothing but the best for people. We don't want to wish, awfulness on anyone, because that would then make us awful. And so I don't want to see anything bad happen to either one of them. I want them to find peace for themselves. Now, you might be like, okay, well, then why are you talking about this? Well, because I have an issue and something that's kind of been bothering me for a little bit now. And I understand Abby's back to YouTube and she's, working on herself. She's finding her happiness. She's doing her videos. She's vlogging. Whatever it is that she loves to do, she is doing. And I think that's amazing. rooting her on. Anne's doing her like walk and talks and things like that, and I'm rooting her on. I want to see nothing but good things come from both of these individuals. And hopefully one day everybody can sit down and have a drink together. But for right now, they just need to take some time apart and work on themselves. And there is nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that at all. Now, what I do have a problem with, though, is a video that is still up, not on either one of their channels. When everything was going down, Abby had vented, to a friend. There's nothing wrong with that. And I want to make one very big distinction clear, because I've seen a lot of people say, well, she was talking crap and kicking her back in. And okay, listen, first off, that's high school drama. Secondly, venting to a friend about something that's going on is healthy. It's okay. It's not talking shit. It would be one thing if you called up said friend and was like, she's such a blah, 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 and, all this. But if you're just like, oh my God, you're never going to believe what happened, and then you just tell them what happened and you give your side of the story, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as you're not trying to like turn the other person against them, you're just venting. You're venting to your friend. Shit, I bitch to my friend all the time about my kids, about my husband, about just everything in general, about this shit. You know what I mean? I vent to everyone. So like, there's nothing wrong with venting. It's good. It's healthy. If you want, get a therapist. They're amazing, by the way. So, vent away. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not talking shit. That's venting. Now, here's the problem though. Herein lies the issue that I think a lot of us forget when somebody is venting to us. And that is, there are two sides to every story. And, the thing is, if I called you up every single day and I vented to you about my husband, and I was like, oh my gosh, he leaves the toothpaste tube cap off, and he leaves the toilet seat up, and he throws his clothes on the floor, and I'm constantly having to clean up after him, and I never ever tell you anything positive about him. I just vent and vent and vent about all the bad things. After a couple of weeks, you're gonna be like, Alex, you need to leave that man. Like, he is a piece of shit. You don't deserve him, girl. You know what I mean? You all know that conversation. We've had it with friends. They've had it with us. But what we forget sometimes, y'all, is there are two sides to a story. And the fact of the matter is, I am not the easiest person to be in a relationship with, because I've got PTSD. I've got complex PTSD. I am doing, a lot of therapy and EDMR and everything else right now. I am not the easiest person to live with. Now, since I, started taking my medicine again and going back to therapy and stuff, I'm obviously becoming a much lovelier person to be around. And I have my head on right, because my, chemicals are not like flying all over the place, and I'm not acting impulsively and in my emotions. That's what happens. Sometimes we get in our emotions and we act impulsively and we do stupid shit. And that's kind of what I think happened here with these two. I think both of them were very hurt and they acted impulsively. Okay, let's move on, learn your lesson. And that's what I want to see from both of them. I want to see both of them do better, be better, whether that's together or apart. And right now they both feel they need to be apart, and that is fine. And I want them to just get themselves right and find happiness in their own lives and not dwell on all of this negativity and he said, she said crap. But the problem is, because this person, who I'm not going to name, because there's really no point, and I don't want to give this video any more than it's already gotten. You guys know what I'm saying. But the issue is, when she posted this video, basically all the things that Abby had vented to her about, she said in this video, in this live, and basically put her business out there. And I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I told Abby flat out, I was like, dude, that does not doing you any favors. That is not making you look good. And she's like, I know. Like, I told her, and since then, that video has been requested by Abby, by me, by everyone to be removed. And for whatever reason, she's not removing it. And that's fine. She wants to leave it up. If it was only just her putting all of Abby and Ann's business out there, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care at all. None of my business. What I do care about, however, is in this video, there was a very serious accusation that was made about just Ann calling CPS on Abby. And the problem that I have with that is it's not true. And not only is it not true, but the person who made this accusation and insinuation in this video and is still continuing to leave it up knows that it's not true. Now, you could be looking at me and you could be like, well, why isn't Abby saying anything? Well, because number one, I told her not to. I told her she needs to worry about herself. She needs to not, well, I did tell her she needed to make one little 5-minute video and just be like, hey, I messed up. I shouldn't have posted this. I was all up in my feelings. I need to do some me work, But after a while in seeing, Abby's a different type of person than I am and than Ann is. She shuts down, you know what I mean? And I understand that. Again, she's a different person than me. She deals with things differently. Ann is the type of person that she just dives into her work and posts video after video after video. She tries to keep herself busy and keep her mind off of stuff. And I saw a lot of people attacking her for that. And I'm like, that's how she deals with shit. And it just goes to show that people don't know us personally, and I understand that, which is one of the reasons why I kind of wanted to speak up for both Ann and Abby. And initially the original video that I wanted to do was just to let everyone know, stop, please stop, let them deal with this behind the scenes. But now I want to set the record straight. I want people to know that, and it doesn't matter what my feelings of Ann are. Yes, here's the thing, you guys. For 2 years solid, I got harassed, bombarded, attacked. Just treated like absolute crap, talked to like crap. I had people emailing companies trying to get me kicked off a PR list. It was awful. All because somebody made an insinuation and said that I made a thumbnail that I didn't make. And I dealt with that crap for 2 years until I finally snapped. And then when I finally snapped, I got blamed for snapping. You know what I mean? It was awful. It was so awful. And I wish that somebody who knew the truth would have spoken up and been like, good Lord, give this girl a break. She's going through enough shit right now. You know what I mean? And I was. My son was we were having him tested for everything. Come to find out, we got an autism diagnosis. I was being beat down, you guys. But the thing is, I have since learned that I needed to go through that experience. It sucked. It was awful. Wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. But it was something that I needed to go through. Sometimes we go through things in life because we have to learn a lesson. And if we don't learn the lesson the first time around, then the bad crap seems to keep happening and increase because we're not learning that lesson. Thankfully, I learned it very quickly and the first time around, but it was a hard lesson to be learned nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? And maybe I needed to learn the lesson so that I could help these two get through this situation. Again, not saying that we're all going to be kumbaya and best friends again, but I want to wish them nothing but happiness. And if I can help them and give them some advice that my therapist gave me that really helped me out, then so be it. For instance, my therapist told me, when I was going through everything and everybody was making videos about me, she was like, would you trade places with these people? And I'm like, excuse me, what? And she goes, would you trade places with them? Would you switch lives? If you were given the opportunity, would you switch lives with these people that are making these videos about you and talking all this crap? Would you switch places with them? And I was like, no. No, I wouldn't. Not if you paid me, I wouldn't. She's like, okay, then why do you care what they think? Why are you giving any value to their opinions at all. And I'm like, damn, that's a good question. I don't know. And at that point, you know, when I was going through everything and when we got that diagnosis of Liam, I realized right then, I was like, why do I care what these people think? I have like all this majorly important shit going on in my life right now. I should not care what the hell some person on YouTube who I'm giving no value to their opinion at all. Like, I'm like, I don't know how anybody values some of these people's opinions. I'm not going to say any names, but like, you know, and that's what I told Ann, you know, a couple weeks ago. I'm like, dude, who cares if she makes 100 videos about you? Who cares? Like, you know, she's trying to create, you know, drama and views for herself, and that's fine. But I mean, again, why do you value her opinion on you? Because, no offense, but I don't think anybody would switch lives with that girl. And I'm not talking about the same two people here. I'm now talking about somebody completely different. But either way, the point is, like, why would you value their opinion? Why are you giving them that control over your emotional state to where it's upsetting you and ruining your day? And guess what? It's not ruining her day anymore. She doesn't care anymore. And, you know, I think it took somebody telling me that, and it took somebody telling her that, and just the same as Abby, it took somebody telling her that, like, look, we shouldn't care. If you're not going to trade places with them, you shouldn't give two shits what they think. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. Now, back to the insinuation / accusation that was made in this video and why I know it's not true. Well, because I spoke with Abby, and my neighbor works for social services. Like, that's what he does. Okay. And I've got a federal agent on one side, a teacher on the other side, and a social services worker on the other side. We got like the whole trifecta, you guys. So anyways, she had asked me because she wanted to know who called, you know, which I understand. Now, since we have learned that it was, number one, a male that called, and you could be like, oh, well, it could have been Ann's husband. Dude, if you guys know her husband, like we all know, and Abby even said that. She was like, I know she didn't call. You know, like when I asked her about this insinuation, she was like, no, I know she didn't call. Like, because if you know Ann, number one, I mean, you guys watch her, you watch her videos and stuff. Let's be real here. Let's all be honest. She's ghetto, okay? She's from the ghetto, and most people from the ghetto don't like calling the police, CPS, getting any government official involved in anything. They handle it themselves. And I can tell you for a fact right now, like when we found out who actually made that thumbnail, I wanted to press charges. I was pissed, but I also dealt with crap for 2 years. So obviously I was a little more heated than she was. But the point is I wanted to press charges, and she would not return the investigator's phone call. As a matter of fact, I, for a long time, kind of held that against her, held that grudge against her. I learned to let it go, and I don't care anymore. It's over. But the point is, she wouldn't even return the investigator's phone call. So if she wanted to return an investigator's phone call for somebody that made that thumbnail against her, I don't think she's going to call CPS on Abby. Like, it's just, it's not even plausible. And then her husband hates trauma. If he even knew about half the stuff, dude, he tells her, like, if she tries to tell him about stuff, he's like, dude, stop, like either sue him, get in shit, or get off the pot kind of thing. Like, either sue them for defamation, which is what technically she could do to this girl right now who's got this video up, which is why I wanted to talk about this. Not that, again, she would do it. Her husband would, though. Her husband would in a heartbeat if he found out. So I'm just telling you guys, like, it's not true. And also, we found out that after this person's video went up, CPS got called 3 more times. CPS didn't get called 3 more times after Ann's video went up. It didn't happen after the community post that Abby wrote went up. It didn't happen during any of that. It happened after this person made this live and made this insinuation that Ann called. And because she put it out there, number one, she put Abby's business out there, which I told Abby, I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. I'd be pissed if my friend did that to me. If they told, because you're giving whoever did call, you're giving them satisfaction. And I would be pissed, but that's me. Abby's Abby. Like I said, we're different people. But, I told her, I'm like, that is not doing you any favors. And then come to find out, yeah, it really wasn't doing her any favors, because then they got called 3 more times. And now the good news about all this is, because the claims were unsubstantiated, meaning that because CPS looked into everything and found out that it was false, now the people that call are looking at facing harassment charges. And I mean, I feel like you kind of deserve it. If you called CPS, I'm sorry, you deserve it, because I've never understood this. Why would you call CPS on a person for their kids? Number one, their kids are 13 and 15 years old, 13 and 15. And you think she is having mental health problems to the point where she might be neglecting her kids. But she also has a husband that lives with her. And how on God's green earth do you think that CPS, if she's having mental issues and stress and anxiety, is not going to add to that mental issue, stress, and anxiety? Please explain that to me, somebody, because I don't understand. I don't understand that way of thinking. Like, even if you really care about her, you wouldn't do that. If you really cared, you would be like, hey, is there anything I can do to help? You know what I mean? Like, and if she's like, no, I got this, then you have to give her that respect. You know what I mean? But trying to call CPS and disrupt, I mean, again, these aren't little kids. This is a 13 and a 15-year-old. So clearly now they had to get talked to. I mean, that's just bullshit. I don't know. Whoever did that, like I said, they deserve all 4 of them. And we found out the first one was a man and the other 3 were noted as subscribers. So, that's how they were defined. And, I told her everything that Kevin told me about how she needs to go about, learning the names of everyone and, filing charges, because, yeah, she has the right to do that at this point because the claims were unsubstantiated. And if people keep calling, then absolutely she has the right to do that. And I would fully support her doing that. And I know Ann would too, because when I spoke with Ann about everything, that was one of the biggest things that she was worried about, was if Abby and the kids were okay, because she kept saying the entire time. And I also want to point this out. I've talked to Ann and Abby both, and neither one of them have talked any shit about the other one. Like, they've just told me how they're feeling and, what's going on, but not, like, never once have they called the other names. Never once have they shit talked, like they're just feel like they need to be apart. You know what I mean? Like, they were best friends for 6 years and they're both hurting. That hurts, any kind of relationship when it ends, it doesn't feel good. And it doesn't matter whose fault it is or isn't, because usually it's a mix. You know what I mean? Like, it's a mix. Like, this person made bad decisions, that person made bad decision. It's never usually one-sided, And so I feel like, and that's what I felt like at the beginning of all this, like, everybody just needs to stay out of it and just stop. And then the other thing that really aggravated the shit out of me, and I'm just going to tell you guys this right now, is I had a subscriber. The only reason I even found out about this whole thing between them is because I had a subscriber reach out to me and tell me, or ask me what happened. They were like, hey, do you know what's going on with Ann and Abby? And I'm like, no. I'm literally walking home from preschool with my kid. And I'm like, no, what's going on with Ann and Abby? Did something happen? What's wrong? And they're like, oh yeah, they're like fighting on YouTube and it's all public and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, and then here's the screwed up part, right? Then this subscriber goes to Ann and DMs her on Instagram and is like, why is Alex mad at you? Or why is the not so evil stepmother mad at you? Like, trying to, in the middle, like, this was right when everything very first happened. I'm like, why are people trying to create problems? I don't understand it. Like, I just don't. I'm sorry, but I don't. So like I said, I understand why Abby's not addressing you know, the whole CPS thing, because she doesn't want any more calls made. You know, I understand and support her decision to not address any of the drama. I don't think she should. I understand why she needed to take a break, and I understand why Anne kept filming. Like, if you look at it with logic and reason and not conspiracy, it all makes complete sense, because that's just the type of people that they are. So anybody trying to make anything more out of it just is trying to create drama, and it's just nonsense. And it's just because they're miserable in their own lives and they have nothing better to do but try to create misery and discontent elsewhere. And again, as I said before, if you would not switch places with them and their lives, don't give their opinion any value. It's that simple. I mean, you know, you are the decider, you know, and as I told you guys on Mother's Day, you know, don't be the victim. Don't look to be offended. Quit looking for the negative. Quit looking for the malintent. Try looking for the positive. I know it's really hard sometimes, you guys, because trust me, I've had to completely rewire my way of thinking, because I was literally programmed to think every single time somebody did something, you know, no matter how small it was, I always thought that they had like bad intentions, and it was like my way of protecting myself. But in doing that, essentially, I'm like going around living in fear and not trusting everyone. So I had to change my way of thinking completely. So it can be done. It really can. And I will tell you guys that it will create a much healthier lifestyle and environment for you to be in, 100%. So, you know, definitely look into that. I mean, there's videos, there's all kinds of stuff. You know, you can do meditation. If you can't do meditation, like I told Abby, you know, find something to do with your hands that, you know, you can just turn on some music or a book or whatever on Audible and just do a tedious task, you know, whatever it is, painting, drawing, whatever. Just find something to do that keeps your mind occupied. That way you can relax and let your body feel like it's safe. So then you're not in that negative headspace. So anyways, that's pretty much my 2 cents on this whole situation, utterly and completely. I know you're probably like, Alex, again, I don't know why you didn't say this sooner, because I don't know how much good it would have done, and I was afraid that it was just going to inflame things. But also, I can't consciously sit idly by and let another person get blamed for something that they didn't do, and the person who blamed them knows that they didn't do it and has not apologized, I mean, just remove the video. Like, that's all you gotta do. Just remove the video. If you want to make another one and talk crap about her and put that up, by all means. Or remove that section of the video. You could always do that, you know? Like, YouTube has an editor. You could remove that section of the video so that you can still say all the things that you said, but just take out the part that's not true and defamation, you know? Like, it's that simple, I feel like. I mean, I don't know why people are making it more complicated than it is, but that's essentially why I wanted to make this video now, because I'm like trying to uncomplicate things and just be honest. And again, if Anne did do it, I would sit here. You guys know, I'm like the last person to defend her, like after everything. But, you know, fair is fair, right is right, wrong is wrong. Anne and I are trying to heal. Abby and I are trying to heal. And, you know, hopefully one day they try to heal. And in the meantime, everybody just needs to stop like throwing gas on the fire. And that's really what I'm asking everyone else out there who, you know, doesn't have a channel, and, you know, don't like berate them with comments and stuff. Cause again, like there's 2 sides to a story, every person. And as Steve pointed out to me a few days ago, he said, you know, there can be 2 truths. You know what I mean? Like, this person could tell their side and this person could tell their side. and they're both telling the same story, but with different intentions and malice or thought process behind it. And so, you know, they're both the same story, but they're two different truths. This is that person's and this is that person. You know what? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, you guys, I'm trying to find, blush. I'm like sitting here, like just looking around aimlessly for my blush, and it was literally right in front of my face because I'm a ding dong. Oh well. But yeah, as for everyone else, if you want to make a video about me, here, get my good side. Let me pose for you for your thumbnail. You know? Well, make sure you get my good side though, okay? Like, yeah, if you want to make a video about me, you can. It's fine. I don't care. I really don't. I'm over it. Like I said, most people that would make a video about me are not people whose opinions I really value. So yeah, don't care. Don't care. I don't go looking for it, you know. I don't care. I really don't. I have, like, again, I've got a 3-year-old with autism who I'm trying to potty train this summer. I am really not concerned with you talking shit about me on YouTube. Truly. You know what I'm saying? Like, woo, yeah. Anyways, so that is all I have for you guys today. I think my look turned out nice. I need setting spray. Setting spray. Anyways, I need to go pick up Steve's Father's Day present. We kind of gave it to him a little bit early, and then he got to pick out, you guys will know about it in an upcoming video because it's on a Sephora haul video that's coming up. So anyways, you guys will hear all about it then. And the panty dropping cologne. Oh, the panty dropping cologne. Gotta love that. And that too. So until next time, you guys, see ya.